guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Peachy and this channel is all about my Sylvanian families collection. For today's video, I thought we could focus on these very cute promotional items. These are the chef and waitress babies that are available through certain promotions in Japan. I thought we could do a little bit of a kind of semi-deep dive on these items and then open up these ones that I mostly got from my trip to Japan. There's one in there that I did import as well. As I understand it, these little cuties started life as a promotional item that was distributed from around about 2019 at Sylvanian Family's Kitchen restaurants or restaurant. And then since then, they've had a kind of wider distribution, usually purchased with some kind of food item like biscuits or sweets, sent it with ice cream. We'll talk about a potato snack later, usually in collaboration with official Sylvanian families, either shops or events they have a presence at, and collaborations, that kind of thing. This image here I've taken from the Sylvanian Family's Kitchen restaurant website, and it shows the almost up-to-date current lineup. There are a couple of new ones, I think, now. New figures get added from time to time. This image here shows the June selection, which shows those two new babies that have been added. So there's a Wildwood rabbit in there and also a cove, I'm presuming, but she looks the same as the Neptune baby otter. The thing that makes these babies fun or frustrating, whichever kind of side of the coin you want to look at it, to collect is that they tend to be on a rotation. So for example, at the Sylvanian Kitchen website, that image I just showed you, that's the June selection. So you can see there's 5 or 6. I think when I went to the restaurant there was 5. On that banner there's 6, but that's per month to choose from. So you have to keep going back if you wanted to be able to collect them all. It works the same way in the promotions and in the shops when you're buying, say, biscuits or something and it comes with one of the babies. I don't think it's ever a situation where the whole lineup of babies are available. It will be 4 or 5 or 6 for you to choose from in that mini rotation. One of the promotions that I took part in on my trip to Japan back in 2025, it was on a daily rotation. So I went on the Saturday and they had a particular selection of babies, and then on the Sunday they had a different selection, or a couple of them were different. So they really like to keep you on your toes with trying to collect these if you're trying to get them from the source. There are, of course, people reselling them, which is probably an easier way to get the ones that you particularly want, or to be able to finish your collection if you're trying to get them all. They also do seem to retire older figures. If I can find the image, I'll put it here because obviously it's gone off the website because it was over a year ago now. But when I visited Japan in 2025, when I had a look at the image from the Sylvanian Kitchen Family's website, there was a Buckley deer on there who was available. She wasn't available in my rotation, but she was available as part of the lineup. But looking at the new image that I showed earlier on in the video, I'll put them side by side here if I can find that old image. She seems to have maybe been replaced by a willow deer. So I wonder if eventually the Osborne bears will be replaced by the biscuit bears and so on and so forth as we get new families. So alongside the rotation, they're also creating some sort of sense of urgency for maybe some of the older families and figures to make sure that you can still get them. I never had any intention of collecting them all, so I found it quite fun to go into different shops and see which ones were in the rotation and which one was at the restaurant, etc, etc. But I can imagine if you are trying to keep up and collect them all, it can be quite an arduous process. The other interesting thing to note with these babies is the Calico Critters range in America, and maybe Canada, but definitely America, have released a selection of these style of babies in a blind bag. They're called the Bistro babies and they come in a set of 6. I found some images here to flash up for you. Some of them match their Japanese counterparts, some are slightly different colours and some are completely different. So in this blind bag series, we've got Brie and Bran High Branch as chef and waitress. But in the Japanese range, I don't think you can get Bran. I think it's just Brie. At least Bran isn't shown on the image I downloaded from the website. Maybe you used to be able to get him and he's retired now. I just find it interesting how Calico Critters are kind of taking some of these Japanese exclusive products and making them into blind bags. But I think that concludes our history lesson for today. So let's get these open and have a look at the little outfits and the packaging. I think I mentioned at the start of the video, 5 of these I got on my trip to Japan and one of them I imported. We'll go through where I got each one as we go through, but let's start with Creme in the middle because she's a little bit special. So you can see she is the only one with this 40th anniversary marker. This was a special dress that she was wearing for the 40th anniversary, and she doesn't seem to be on the rotation now, so I guess maybe it was just last year that you could get her. I got her from the Sylvanian Family's Kitchen restaurant when I visited. I don't know whether you could get her elsewhere. I didn't see her anywhere but there, but that's not to say she wasn't available somewhere. You can see the packaging on these, it's all quite similar but very colourful. I like how you've got all the different coloured backing cards, but they are very similar to the way that you would get promotional items in Japan. They tend to come in this kind of packaging. You can see here 2025 marker, which would line up with when I got her. And then this is the logo for the Sylvanian Family's Kitchen restaurant, which I think is really cute, and I don't think they've changed that for a little while. So let's get her open and actually take a look at her. So here she is. Of course, she is a little waitress. These are the fully posable baby models, so you can move their arms, legs and head. So she could have a sit down if she wanted to. They all have very similar outfits, but usually they're in a gingham style. This one has these little cute pink bows all over it and little white kind of flower star details. It's got lacy kind of apron and then the little apron at the front with this cute little pink bow. And then she of course also has her little waitress hat, which is just elasticated around her ears. But other than that, she's the standard creme chocolate. The dress is a nice kind of cottony fabric, as is the apron and the lace on it. This feels a lot more like the kind of classic clothes we're used to, and it's just a wraparound dress that's secured with Velcro at the back. I really like these as a fun little kind of novelty to get as a free gift. I think they're very sweet. So that's creme. Let's have a look at one of the waiters or chefs next. So also from the Sylvanian Kitchen restaurant, I got Charlie Cottontail. So I think they were limited to one per person when we visited. So I got creme, myself and my fiance chose Charlie with some gentle persuading that we should choose Charlie. Charlie was important to us because we were able to have a big baby figure sit with us at the table, and we chose Charlie Cottontail, so it seemed only right to get him in miniature form as well to commemorate our visit. Charlie's got this lovely green backing, and here we can see 2023, which I'm guessing is maybe the year he was introduced, or maybe it's just the year that this particular one was produced. So Charlie, of course, is a little chef, again, fully posable figure. The chef outfits are all one piece, again with Velcro at the back. So the shirt and trousers and apron are all attached together, and then they have the separate little hat. There's quite a nice amount of detail on these, and again they feel like a nice high quality cotton. So the chef outfits tend to have colourful gingham trousers, in this case green, usually matching their backing card as well, I think. So obviously green and green, and then creme is blue and blue. Then the chef whites part tends to be the same, at least it is on the two that I have. White with red detailing, cute little apron sewn in, a ribbon to secure it around the waist, or well, it's not actually securing anything, but it's a nice bit of detail. Nice ribbon detail here, and then it's kind of a white shirt and white hat again with red accents. I think the chef outfits are so cute. I wanted to try and get a good mix, but I did end up with more waitresses than chefs in the end because I just couldn't resist the little dresses and frilly aprons. But that's Charlie, and that's the two that I got when we visited the Sylvanian Family's Kitchen restaurant itself. Next up, let's take a look at, I think, the first of the babies that I got, which is Gloria Midnight, or at least I think it's Gloria. Definitely Midnight Cat Family. You can see she's in this lovely pinky red outfit. Same backing card again, and this is 2024. So again, I'm not sure if that was the year she was added into the kind of promotional rotation, or if that is just the year that this particular one was produced. So you can see Gloria's dress construction is pretty much the same as Creme's, but the pattern is different. It's in this lovely kind of gingham, but it's a more detailed gingham with this lovely line work. The hat is very similar construction as well, with elastic. She's got a little bit of fluff on her face. Let's get that off. There we are. Nice big bow in the middle as well. I really like the patterning on this dress. It's very, very pretty. I am a fan of gingham. So Gloria I got at the official Sylvanian Families shop. They had a pop-up shop in Osaka. It was in a department store called Parco, and they were running an offer where you could buy this bag of kind of like these pink, kind of almost marshmallowy, but not marshmallows, like hard, I can't think of the word, meringue. These kind of meringue-like sweets, and if you bought a bag of those, you could choose one of the babies from the rotation. So I chose Gloria. Let's pop her on the other side of Charlie for a little bit of contrast in the outfits. Then Eve Snowdrift from the Snowdrift Reindeer family. She is again 2024 and lovely pale kind of yellow orangey packaging to match her dress. She has this little bit of plastic on to protect presumably her ears and little antlers. I'm not sure why she got preferential treatment to all of the other babies who didn't get any protective headgear. But she is in this lovely yellow gingham. You can see the patterning on this is different. It is normal gingham, not the kind of line pattern work that we just saw on Gloria. Same construction of dress again though. Cute little apron, though this one wants to flick like that, so it might just need a little bit of taming. Usually to do that I'll wet it maybe and then kind of hold it into place, as it's very, very tiny. You could use an iron on it, but it's so small it's really fiddly and you risk kind of burning your fingers. So I'll see if I can get it to lay flat with a little bit of water and persuading it to dry in the correct position first. Lovely yellow. This feels very spring summery, and then this big bright pink bow to contrast. She's so cute with her little face markings. Her tiny little antlers are hidden behind her waitress hat, but very cute. And she was involved in the same rotation store and everything as Gloria. I got her as well through the pink meringue-esque sweet promotion. I can't remember if I got them at the same time or if I had to go back on two separate occasions, or if I made my fiance buy her because it was limited to one per person. Can't quite remember. I'll probably talk about it in the video where I talk about my Japan holiday, but either way, she came from the same promotion. So I kind of think of them as being like best friends. Then the last of the babies I got during my trip to Japan, and let's bring another chef into the mix because Charlie's probably feeling a little bit outnumbered by waitresses at the moment. So this is Jason Osborne. Again, nice yellowy background. It is a slightly different colour to the one that came with Eve, but he's again in this lovely yellow gingham, so they'll look very nice together. 2023 marker. And here is Jason. I just love the Osborne bears. They have the cutest face, and I love the little whole backstory they've got going on, that both Jason and his brother Aiden are super, super greedy and love all the treats. It was quite funny. We had Jason and Aiden in the little display on our table when we visited the Sylvanian Kitchen restaurant, and that was completely by luck because we didn't get to choose where we got to sit, so it was nice to have some of my favourite characters. So you can see Jason's outfit is constructed in exactly the same way as Charlie's, difference being that he has this lovely yellow gingham, all one piece again, and then obviously he has his little chef whites and hat. I think the gingham, yes, exactly the same as Eve's, so they make a nice kind of matching pair. Jason's story of how I got him was quite interesting. So they were holding a Sylvanian, well, it wasn't Sylvanian Families, it was like a character rally kind of thing, character event at Sunshine City Shopping Centre in Ikebukuro. The Sylvanian Families were taking part in that event because obviously they are a popular character in Japan. And there was like, it wasn't inside the shopping centre, it was kind of out the front. They had all these little stalls set up, most of them selling kind of food, and there were some activities to do and things like that. The Sylvanian Families one was collaborating with this Hokkaido sweet potato. They called them fries, but they're more like what we would kind of know as just potato or a sweet potato. And if you bought a portion of the sweet potato, there was a rotation of babies that you could select from. If I can find an image of the promotion, I'll pop it here. It might be a little bit difficult now since it was quite a while ago. Jason was on the rotation, so I made a special trip there just to get him because I love him that much, and I was a little bit sad that he wasn't in any of the other rotations that I'd seen throughout the trip. This was the last day of the trip as well, the last full day. So that's how Jason came to be part of the little workforce here. And then last but not least, we have the one that I imported, and I think she might be new for June. Don't quote me on that though. Let's have a look. She is 25, so I don't think she is maybe that new, but she is in June 2026's rotation at the Sylvanian family's kitchen restaurant. This is most likely Manon Cove, but it could also be Sandy Neptune. I have figures of both of them to compare when we get out of the bag. I think it's probably Manon Cove though. Lovely turquoise packaging and turquoise gingham dress. As you saw, 2025 on the back. I got this one through Kobe Japan, who have a number of these little babies. They're not the easiest thing to get since they are promotional items, so they're not readily available to just buy, and we haven't had any of them here in the UK. So here she is out of the packaging. Again, same construction on the dress, but this lovely turquoise gingham, which is really pretty. I think it looks really lovely with her fur colour, and nice big pink contrasting bow. It's more of a corally pink. And her little waitress hat just being held on by her teeny tiny dinky little ears. Very, very cute. So I have Sandy Neptune here, who is a Neptune sea otter. She is an older family now, and yeah, I don't think they're quite the same. This Sandy is from a blind bag, the Sweet Treats one. I also have Manon. Yeah, she's definitely Manon. This is the Manon that came with the kind of sister sibling beach set from the Cove family. And yes, I think she's definitely Manon. However, in my heart of hearts, I shall be pretending that she is Sandy. If you don't know about mine and my fiance's ongoing joke with Sandy, we call her Screamy Otter. My fiance gave her a very silly, high, squeaky voice when I was setting up my Sylvanian room, and it has just stuck ever since. So she has a very special place in our hearts. And we kind of have the Cove and Neptune sea otters as very closely related anyway. So this is Screamy Otter, the Waitress version, according to my fiance, who was very excited when I opened the box to see her in there and included. And that's the full lineup. This is all of the ones I have in my collection at the moment as well. I don't have any others that I've gotten previously. Just bring you in a bit closer there to see them all together. I don't think I feel the massive urge to collect all of these or complete my collection or anything like that. The 5 that I got to begin with were just something fun that I was doing whilst I was in Japan and picking them out, and they're nice mementos of my trip. And then obviously we've heard the story of Screamy Otter. When I saw that she had this version and it's so cute, I had to get her. She doesn't get included in a lot of costume sets all that often, so I definitely wanted to add her to my collection, and I was doing an order anyway. I can definitely see the appeal of these, especially if you're in Japan and it's easier to get them because it's quite fun going on the hunt for all the different promotions and rotations. But I think outside of Japan, it's probably quite an expensive pursuit to try and get them all. You also don't get the free gift when you buy them through a reseller usually. But I think that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you've enjoyed taking a look and learning a bit more if you maybe didn't know about these baby chef and waitresses. Let me know what you think about them in the comments. Do you have any? Is there any that you would particularly like from the rotation? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye for now.